This is Uganda, population 34 million. Spanning just under 94,000 square miles, Uganda sits in equatorial Africa, bordering countries like Kenya, Sudan, and Rwanda. From the outside, Uganda looks like your run-of-the-mill developing country. Agriculture dominates employment. Markets are unstable, and a large part of the population lives below the poverty line. While new industries and ideas are rapidly finding their way into Uganda, its political system is young, and like many other things, on the verge of developing into something else. A tourist visiting Uganda for the first time may have a hard time separating it from the label developing country. A CLIP student visiting both Uganda and Africa for the first time may have a hard time separating Uganda from the labels and stereotypes surrounding both. The Uganda I pictured prior to our arrival was a strange mix of news clips, UNICEF ads, documentary specials, movies like The Lion King, really anything and everything I'd ever seen surrounding any African nation. One could say that when I got to Uganda, I had a difficult time processing what I saw. I had gone in saying I had no expectations, but in the back of my mind had prepared myself to see something resembling my obscure definition of a developing country. I was not prepared for the lush banana fields of the countryside, Kampala's skyscrapers and strip malls, and the never-ending sea of small villages. I soon learned that Uganda, like any other country, could never fit into stereotypes. Traveling to Uganda has made me understand what it means to be from the West. I was shocked at first by some of the things I saw and fit them into my preconceived developing country label. Whenever I saw what to me is extreme poverty, I felt bad for the individuals who lived that life. When I saw that we didn't have toilets or showers, didn't see paved roads with traffic signals, and saw policemen patrolling the streets, I let those play into that label. They were, after all, some of the things I had seen on TV. For many tourists, I guess that's all we would see. However, as I spent more time in Uganda, I realized that there is so much more. Uganda, like the US, is a place filled with juxtapositions. Extreme poverty sits alongside extreme wealth. In Uganda, huge homes sit next to small shacks, and modern ideas develop alongside old ones. In Masaka, I was exposed to Ugandan suburbia, a quiet country life, and more traditional values. In Kampala, and through my interactions with Hawa, a young student photographer, I was exposed to Ugandan city life, modernity, and youth culture. As I spent more time in Uganda, I began to see that it is not as developing as I thought it was. When I first arrived, I looked at everything Ugandans did not have that Westerners did have as things that were too expensive or unattainable. I soon realized that different nations value material possessions differently. My host family did not have a bathroom, but could have easily afforded one. While life in Uganda may seem extreme compared to the lives we lead here, standards of living are more different than inferior. Traveling to Uganda showed me how resourceful some people are. In the community, the villagers didn't have a lot, but made do with everything they had to construct the harvesting tanks and tippy taps. So often in the US, we are wasteful or don't complete projects because we may not have something. Not having something didn't stop the community members. The volunteers built ladders when they needed them, shared tools, and really seemed to understand the value of both the hammer and nails used to construct the projects and the impact these projects would have on the community members. In this way alone, the community seemed far more developed than some communities in the United States. Uganda shocked my system. In the US, I'm afforded many luxuries, some of which are not present in Uganda. However, I now realize that I am also babied and let myself grow to feel so entitled to certain material objects, or even basic necessities like water, that I disregard the struggle so many face to obtain the same thing. Water, balanced meals, education, healthcare, and gender equality are just some things that I take for granted. While they exist in Uganda, many people have to work extremely hard to even come close to attaining them. While so much of Uganda is developed and working towards further developing its future, the population living below the poverty line, despite working to sustain itself, is impossible to forget. Seeing some of the villagers walk miles for water, seeing boys younger than me working on the farm because they cannot afford their school fees, seeing children with disabilities not receive the medical care that children in the West receive, serves as a call to action for me personally to continue working with the community. On the flip side, seeing the strength of family and community ties in Uganda, or the resourcefulness of the community members, has made me aware that the U.S. could benefit from strengthened community and family ties, and a greater respect for the objects that we use. Uganda is not a developing country in the traditional sense. Like all nations, it can work towards improvement. However, in Uganda, many things that a nation needs for success and prosperity, like strong community ties and resourcefulness, are already in place. A traveler should go expecting to witness strong family and community ties, to hear an exciting mix of new political and social ideas, and to see a landscape so beautiful that no Disney animated film could ever do it justice. A traveler should expect to be surprised, to have his or her system shocked, and above all else, to eat matoke.